It's been a while since the Sony FX30 was released, and I don't know why not a lot of people talk about this one particular thing about this camera, and that is before anything else, I would like to officially welcome you to my channel. Thank you for making it past the intro. If you are into cameras, gadgets, technologies, all that good stuff, please do subscribe and hit that bell if you haven't yet. In that case, you won't miss out on anything from this channel. By the way, this video is not sponsored by Sony, how I wish. So everything that you're about to hear will all be true and from my heart. Having that out of the way, let's dive right into the topic. And so like I said, this is the Sony FX30 and it's been a couple of months now since I've been using this camera. May it be for photos or videos, this has been my main camera lately. And let me tell you this is nothing but amazing. Especially for videos, this is more than reliable, which is kind of expected because this is part of Sony's cinema line cameras. So yeah, I've already used it for my talking head videos, casual vlogs, cinematic videos, etc. And like I said, it's nothing but amazing. And if you've been following me on Instagram, you'd know that I take a lot of photos as well. And believe it or not, the Sony FX30 is surprisingly good as well, like for real. Obviously not the best as far as photography is concerned, but for socials and casual photography, this could also be your camera. But I'm not here to give you samples or outputs or whatsoever, because by the time this video is made, I'm pretty sure that there are tons of videos or reviews about the Sony FX30 already. Am I right? Like the build quality, autofocus, color science, and overall performance, everything is on YouTube right now. However, there is one thing that I don't think many people talk about the Sony FX30, which for me is very critical to mention for the sake of those people thinking of buying the Sony FX30, which is also one of my main reasons why I do believe that the Sony FX30 is the camera to beat this 2023 and even beyond. So here you go, ladies and gentlemen. Besides the performance, the price point, and everything, as I mentioned, I don't know why not a lot of people talk about this one particular thing about the Sony FX30, and that is the lens options. Yes, you heard it right. The lens options for the Sony FX30 is kind of underrated nowadays. Because let me just remind you for 1 second right here. This is an APS-C camera, meaning to say this doesn't have full frame sensor, like duh. And you and I would agree that full frame lenses are way more expensive than APS-C lenses. Am I right? And that particular fact, folks, should be mentioned more about the Sony FX30. Because this may be an APS-C body, but get this, the performance of this camera is like a full frames, especially on the video department, at least for me. So you can just imagine, you kind of get the performance of a full frame body, but with lenses at a very affordable price point. Let me quickly brief you. Allow me to use Sigma lenses for this part of the video, but this is not sponsored by Sigma either. Again, how I wish. But for the simple reason that Sigma offers the great value for money lenses. Because you know, G Master lenses are extremely expensive. But sure, there's the performance, but really, undeniably extremely expensive. We can take Viltrox as well, because they also make lenses for full frame bodies at a very affordable price point. But the performance is kind of not that comparable with Art lenses and G Master lenses. So Sigma kind of sits in between the price point and the performance. So let's go. Let's say you want a wide angle lens. You got Sigma 16mm f1.4 for APS-C bodies, which is around $449. For full frame bodies, you got Sigma 24mm f1.4 for $799. Moving on to not so wide, not so tight lenses, you got Sigma 30mm f1.4 for only $339. While on full frame, you got Sigma 50mm f1.4 for $849. By the way, this is the new Art lens. Anyway, for portraits and bokeh-licious outputs, you got Sigma 56mm f1.4 for only $479 for APS-C bodies, and then 85mm f1.4 for $1,199. Man, that's a lot. So there you go, folks. I hope I was able to drive a point there because it really makes sense to me. But you might be saying, obviously full frame lenses should be more expensive than APS-C lenses because of the performance and everything. Like I said, this has the features of a full frame body, so it's a very practical way to be able to pair this up with affordable lenses that still offer the performance. You know what I'm saying? But that's it, ladies and gentlemen. I really hope that I was able to encourage you with this video, because my goal is not to badmouth full frame cameras, because right now I'm using a full frame camera, but rather to be able to give you a practical advice on which camera to get this 2023. There you go, folks. I am sure I wasn't able to cover everything, so let me know your thoughts in the comment section, or we can connect on Instagram or on Facebook. As I end, if you're getting value from this video, please do like and subscribe for more not super technical, but rather practical approach to gadgets and technologies. Until then, thank you for watching. And if you have been and if you have been following me, and if you have been following me for and if you have been following me on and if you have been following me on Instagram, you know that I take lots of photos. And if you've been following me on Instagram, you'd know that I take, and obviously not the best, obviously not the best, obviously not the best as far as like the build quality, like the build qual like the build quality like the build quality, autofocus, performance, like the build quality, autofocus, image perform, like the build quality, autofocus, color science, image sharpness, autofocus, color science, etc. And as I end, if you're getting value from this video, please do like and subscribe for more.